I'm an orthopedic surgeon, and we've been at Beaumont for about 3 years now. And for the last year and a half, I've been the chairman of the healthcare committee. So I'm looking at the situation here with COVID in a little different way than the average resident.
We were supposed to keep rules, and I think most people did. And the staff were always washing their hands, and people were very engaged in doing the right thing. And I really felt that we were being looked after. To me, it was the right place to be.
We have a vice president for health affairs whose job it is with her staff to figure out directives to follow that are most assuredly in our interest, and I'm confident that that's what they're doing.
Heather Hyland, who's the vice president of health services, and her team have done an excellent job.
Recently, my husband was a resident of the health center. In fact, he lived there for close to 4 years. What I can tell you about the nursing staff is they really became part of our family. I could have never been home alone with this.
We have probably almost 250 residents independent living, and only 2 of those people came down with COVID. Both recovered very well, which is a very, very amazing record for a retirement community. And we're beginning slowly, but in a very reasonable way, to return to normal. And I think they've done a super job. And as I said, I'm looking at this not only from the point of view of a resident, but also from the point of view of the healthcare committee. So our hats go off to everybody involved, healthcare staff and the rest. Thank you very much. You've done a great job keeping us safe, healthy, and happy.
If I had to pick a single reason as to why we chose to come to a place like this, it's to relieve our children of the burden of having to make decisions under duress and under the stress of a health emergency. And certainly the pandemic has only made that worse. And if we had stayed in our house and we had an emergency, water in the basement, roof leaks, it would have fallen on us and our children to try to figure out how to manage that. That's a source of comfort that I think we really wouldn't have if we were isolated in our house by ourselves.
I've lived at Beaumont for the past 5 years and enjoyed all the many amenities that the community provides. During the pandemic, that all changed. And what was astounding was the support that all the staff gave us. Yes, we were confined to our villas, but we had meals, grocery shopping was done for us, and we were cared for completely.
I'm so grateful to be here. It's made a miserable year very palatable. Everybody here goes out of their way. They did so many nice little things, and you never feel abandoned, you never feel alone. There's a camaraderie here that you would never have living on your own.
When I grew up, my mother took very good care of me. And it's the first time since then that anybody took that good care of me. Nobody understood at the outset what was going to go on with this virus. Fortunately, a few people on the staff not only understood, but prepared to do everything exactly the right way during the course of a pandemic is pretty darn good.
For a while we couldn't have visitors, but now we can. They have to check into the front desk and have their temperature taken. When I leave my villa, of course, I have to wear a mask. Who cares? The Lone Ranger wore one for years. Look what success he had.
I can't tell you how lucky and how fortunate we are and how grateful we are to be able to be living here at Beaumont. They have done so much for us during this pandemic. Our food delivered to us and delicious meals and a wonderful menu to choose from. We've had our housekeeping services. We've had our Beaumont television station.
Beaumont has brought the outside world to us. Every morning we have exercise classes from 8 o'clock to about 12. In the afternoon, we get to exercise our minds. Everything is available to us, and it's up to us to choose to take advantage of it. I think I would have felt even more isolated at home, strange as that sounds, but I knew people were here. And if I needed anything or anybody to support whatever part of my life might have needed some support, I just picked up the phone.
I've been in Beaumont for I think I'm going on 6 years. Your lifestyle continues the way it always has, but there's so much more available. And given the pandemic, if I think about what it would have been like if I had stayed where I was, I would have felt more isolated there than anywhere I can think of.
My husband and I chose to move here. We have a large black Labrador who was coming with us. Therefore, we absolutely had to have a first floor apartment, and luckily one came up.
I have a dog, so getting outside was an obvious way to take a break. I can't tell you how many people decided to walk dogs or just get exercise by walking around through the Beaumont driveways or the woods, which are beautiful anyway.
It's about 6 acres, maybe 7, and it's got paths that you can walk on. There's some hills that go up a little bit, but you've got hand railings, and the dog and I, Bling and I, go up and out and over almost every single morning.
We are very proud of our vegetable and flower garden that is taken care of and nurtured by the residents. So being outdoors was easy. You didn't have to feel alone. You could always have someone to say hi to. You did stay a reasonable distance apart, but you hung out and had your conversations in the middle of the driveways. Or most of us enjoyed our backyards or balconies.
And that's what Beaumont has really gone out of its way for us to do. Make our lives, even though we are in a quarantine situation, as normal and as comfortable as possible. That's been the feeling of everybody. Thank heavens I'm here, that I'm safe.